Okay, true confession time. My fillet with wood filler didn't work. So, I had to reach down deep into my bag of tricks, which really isn't too deep. And I hogged the joint out. I got rid of all the glue that was in there, all the filler that was in there. And then I pulled through my scrap pile and I found a piece of wood that's pretty damn close to the right thickness. But it's not totally perfectly the right thickness. Threw a little bevel on the end of it here so I could jam it in just a little bit further. So there's still a little bit of a gap in it right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some glue on this right now. So we got glue in the joint. And we're going to put glue on the peak. Ah! Okay, back to where I was. I'm going to put some glue on the joint here. I'm going to put some glue on the wood on both sides. Get it nice and sloppy. And now we're going to smear the glue into all over the piece. Kind of thin on the piece that I'm sliding in just because. And we're going to jam it in the hole here. Should slide right in when it's slick. Yep, it did. Okay. Now that went in pretty far. It went in pretty good. Now, put a little bit more glue in there. Now, I have some real thin stuff right here. It's actually got a nice little taper to it. I'm going to jam that in there. A little bit more glue. And there, just like that. Cut a little notch out of it right there. A little more glue. And that's that. We're going to let it sit for the night. And tomorrow I'm going to come in. Actually I can hack that off right now. I cut this with a utility knife. Put a little more glue in it right there. And let gravity do its thing. Alright, so that's that. And tomorrow, when I come in, 24 hours from now, I'm calling it a day. This frustrated the crap out of me. So tomorrow, I'm going to take a utility knife and I'll cut that off. And then I'll sand it flat. And it won't look as bad as it did. You're still going to see it, but it won't look nearly as awful. It'll look like this joint over here. It'll look like this. It'll just be a little black line instead of that big cavernous fuck up I had there. I should have done that from the very start. I don't even know what I was thinking that was going to work. So, well, there you go. Okie dokie. Here we are the next morning, and I unfucked my my problem here. So I just took my little hand planer and I knocked I took my flush cut saw and cut it down as far as I could. Then I took hand planer and then I planed it close and then I sanded it flat. So this little screw up here I can live with. That is literally something I could just fill with a little tiny bit of that filler I was showing earlier. This joint here, same thing. I'm just going to sand the rest of it. I stopped sanding it at 120. I'm going to sand it a little bit more at 120 with 120 and then go to 220 and then 320, and then I can finish the boxes. I can apply the finish. Once I apply the finish and they're finished, I can start assembling the rest of the system. And then we'll see how it goes. The other thing I'm going to do before I finish this is I'm going to actually make a plug for the inside of the box here. Oh. I'm going to make an adjustable plug. So I'm going to make an adjustable plug for the inside of this box so I can actually shrink the volume down to here if I need to. These boxes are way oversized for the drivers, and I'm a little concerned that they're going to sound real bassy and muddy when they're not supposed to. We'll see. And if push comes to shove, I can actually make the entire enclosure smaller. I've already figured out how to make the enclosure smaller. The other option is to figure out the internal volume of these, which I still may do just for shits and giggles, and then put a completely different speaker setup inside of them. We'll see how they sound. I put the cart before the horse with this design of the enclosure because I always do that. I haven't yet put the new enclosure in its position. If it's too big, I have to cut it down. I don't want to cut it down. I want these to work, as designed, but if they don't, I can. That's just kind of where I'm at with these. I'd be lying if I said I was super duper happy with the way these turned out. I'm not. I'm not happy with the way these are turning out. But that's just me. The trials and tribulations of a tinkerer.